Welcome back. This week we saw that heartbreaking scene in court as a jury recommended the Parkland school shooter be sentenced to life in prison. The victims' families reacting to the verdict. Many of them said they felt failed by the system. Hours later, there was yet another mass shooting, this one in North Carolina. A 15-year-old is accused of killing 5 people, one of them being a police officer. Now, scenes like this have become all too familiar to many of us, and Kevin Peterson joins us now. He is a licensed family therapist with the Chronic Hope Institute. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
We really appreciate this. And you know, many of us are reliving the emotions we felt as the Parkland shooter was sentenced this week. How does a court verdict like this increase our overall anxiety?
You know, what it does is it reopens the wound. The trauma of the initial event is stored inside our brain, kind of like a file in a filing cabinet, and it kind of gets locked away. And when this sort of thing happens, it triggers it back up and it reopens it, and we have to re-experience the entire process all over again.
So let's look at anxiety more closely. What are the symptoms that people need to be aware of so that they can understand what they're feeling?
You know, the primary symptoms that we look for in anxiety are sort of somatic symptoms, body symptoms, racing thoughts, stomach aches, sleep issues, hypervigilance. A lot of times you'll see folks turning to self-medication with drugs or alcohol to try to calm themselves down, make them feel better, isolating through fear of others. And then finally, what can happen is eventually suicidal ideation.
And let's talk about the impact this can have on kids and give some hope and some guidance for parents. How can parents address trauma, anxiety with their children? I want to know this myself. I'm a parent.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of the most important things to do, I always tell my families that are with the kids, is don't talk at them, listen to them. Ask open-ended questions. How are you feeling? Do you feel safe in school? What can we do to help you? And don't talk down to them. And then normalize their reaction. And then, the other big thing for parents is share your reactions. Let them know that you have the same fears and anxieties. You don't want to overwhelm them, but you want them to understand it's okay. And the big goal here is to offer them help and then normalize asking for help. Let them know it's always okay to say, I don't understand, I'm scared, I'm nervous, I'm worried, and that it's okay to say those things.
And decompression is a big thing. What tools can any of us use to do that so that we can process these hard feelings about these tragedies? Decompression, it's key.
Yes, oh, absolutely. My primary tools are always have been, exercise, nutrition, meditation, and then therapy. I believe that finding a good trauma-informed therapist who understands the different forms of therapy that are available, such as EMDR or somatic experiencing, and my personal favorite, animal-assisted therapy, can really help sort of reduce the pressure on the nervous system and bring people off the flight or fight or freeze environment.
We only have about 30 seconds left, but real quick, how can we better handle all of this negative news? There's a lot of it.
Again, we got to work together, especially when you're talking about parents and kids is, I would say honestly limiting the amount of exposure, if that's possible, to the television and the social media. And then also having that conversation and put your arms around them, tell them you love them, that you're here for them, and that, you want them to know that you'll always be able to help them process this and work through this, and that you'll get them whatever support they need.
Such great guidance as always. Thank you so much, Mr. Peterson. Have a great day.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.